Australia and Papua New Guinea are the nearest of neighbours, and we are the truest of friends. We're bound by a history of shared sacrifice and a common commitment to a peaceful, stable and prosperous Pacific. And we are united, of course, by a love of rugby league. And that's why I'm delighted to announce the Australian Government is supporting a PNG team to join the National Rugby League competition from 2028. Rugby league is PNG's national sport, and PNG deserves a national team. The new team will belong to the people of Papua New Guinea. It will call Port Moresby home, and I know it will have millions, literally, of proud fans barracking for it from day one.
There he is. That's pretty big for the code, Brian. Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia, saying this. It's a big thing. And well done to our man, Adrian Pazenko, by the way, Sydney Morning Herald. He revealed that yesterday, and he ran with it, and we ran with it. ARLC, which is the Rugby League Commission, Australian Rugby League Commission, and federal government confirm historic Pacific Rugby League partnership. It's huge. It is honestly huge. The Pacific Rugby League, this is through NRL.com, the Pacific Rugby League partnership will support investment into grassroots, pathways and elite rugby league across Papua New Guinea, Tonga, Samoa and Fiji. It will also support the introduction of a PNG-based NRL side as a part of a future expanded NRL Telstra Premiership. Now, just before I get your view, Brian, James Marip, he's the PNG Prime Minister. He had this to say about this historic announcement.
I have over 100,000 working Papua New Guineans in Australia right now, in the mines, in work in Australia. A potential spectator and support base to move from time to time, game to game as the team is playing. I want to indicate to every one of you in Australia and back home, we're not just filling in the numbers for Anthony and James feel good. Far from it, we want to win competition. And just like Dolphins did in the first year of entry, we will feel a very strong team. First game 2028, a strong team we're running. It just goes bigger than just rugby league and sport. It is national development, national unity, regional unity, PNG Australia unity, our security conversations, all is dovetailed into this one team to unite our country into one team, one nation, one country, and of course one people.
Brian, you can find as much fault as you want in this, and we've also raised concerns. Devil's advocate for certain things, and we said this yesterday. But what I'll say is this. Just imagine, like it is, of the 196 countries, it is the only country where rugby league is the national sport.
Yes.
It's the only country. Only.
Yes.
How proud would the locals be about this? Like, can you, if you think about you're a local Papua New Guinean and this has been announced and the hope and the chase that can be on for your future, if that's what you want to do, NRLW and NRL, of course, it's bloody huge. And James Marip, who's the Prime Minister of PNG, you could hear it in his voice. Peter V'landys, Brian, this guy, whether you love him or you don't, like mover and shaker of sport, Everest, New South Wales reigning supreme in the spring, he's Vegas, he's doing this. This guy, love him or hate him, is a bona fide genius.
Well, yes, but I reckon this is his biggest task right now.
Yeah, of course it is.
Getting a rugby league team up there.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not we're going to put them in a compound or not, and we spoke about it yesterday about it can be quite dangerous. But then you look, and as you just mentioned, this will help the country no end. And we know its unemployment rate is pretty high. They've got issues, domestic violence and all that sort of stuff. But this would be a beacon of light for them.
Oh.
Now we've just got to work out, you don't want to go out there and get flogged every week.
No.
This is the big task. And I know they've got a lot of pathways. And
they have to be winning.
One of our listeners talked about the junior Kangaroos played the junior Kummels, and it was a draw.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But they were 20 seconds away from winning it, PNG.
But it is when you think about rugby league is now getting involved because, and no, I mean no one is going to say it. It's obviously because of China, because China want to get into PNG, whether they want their oil or whether they want to keep Taiwan out or whatever it is. It's funny that how our little rugby league sport can have the power to do this.
Brian, rugby league, and I think the listeners will concur with this, even the AFL listeners, we've never really been a code obsessed in what the AFL are doing. The AFL seem to be obsessed in what we're doing. For whatever reason, we don't know. But there must be something going on there at AFL headquarters where they're going, oh, Vegas, look what they do there. PNG, Samoa, Tonga, all this is starting to rise. What's going on there? By the way, SEN, of course, across the board, and I keep saying this, 196 countries, AFL, NRL, cricket. Is there a station on the planet who talks about those three codes, our three biggest codes in Australia, more than the Sports Entertainment Network, SEN? And the answer is very easy. No. No, there's not.
Can you get to the get-out clause?
Let's get to the get-out clause.
Because the get-out clause is worrying for me.
The Sydney Morning Herald have reported that, in fact, before we do that, let's just hear about the expansion from PVL, and then we'll get to the get-out clause. Let's go to PVL first.
I think the leadership shown by the Prime Minister has been extraordinary in this situation. I watched it at the White House, how he's explaining the Pacific strategy to the President Biden. He has shown enormous leadership in this because I don't think you'll see the benefits of this for another 10 years, where his legacy will be shown that this today and the decision to become besties again with Papua New Guinea, we've always been besties, is going to be an important part of Australian history. And as I said, I think that'll be shown in 10 years when, conflicts around the world and we are in partnership with Papua New Guinea.
Two things I love most about that is a leader of a sport using the term besties.
Yes.
Love that. And heavy bruising.
Heavy bruising. Well, when I was at the White House.
yes.
With President Biden, who may not have been asleep.
There's one thing from the press conference that I loved as well. In between one of the questions, because he was up on the stage with Albo, so he felt like a politician himself, PVL. And so you got to say, so, right, okay, guys, how many public holidays do you want this year? I was like, he's good.
So tourists, from an outsider looking in, which you're now in, looking out, do you like this bloke, Volandis?
I think he is one of the smartest men in all of sport.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think he's very, very good.
He's a rare gem. The Sydney Morning Herald have reported that Australian taxpayers will provide $600 million over the next 10 years, which was, I think we worked out to be $2.30 a year.
Pretty much so.
$2.30 a year. We can do that.
So thank you very much, AFL supporters, for chipping in.
$2.30.
Thank you. Thank you to all the soccer fans out there.
That's right.
Thank you to the rugby union fans.
Yeah, $2.30 a year.
So
you've just bought a subscription for $2.30 a year.
Well done.
Well done. Thank you for that. The PNG government has committed to building compound style. I don't like that term. We've got to get rid of compound. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Get rid of compound. Compound style accommodation for players and offering tax-free salary benefits. Now, Brian, what was the question you asked me? Get to the
clause.
Yes.
Because you would think that China got, what's their national sport? Would it be table tennis?
I don't know.
What was China's national sport?
What is the China? That's a very good question. What listeners will let us know.
Badminton. Oh, no, it's table tennis.
Table tennis.
Is table tennis the national sport of cricket? Cricket would be ours, wouldn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. Is China the national sport?
When you Google it, that's the first thing that comes up.
Okay.
But
No problem.
don't you just think? Can you believe rugby league is saving our national security?
Yes.
from China.
Okay, get to the clause. Says
Sorry, mate.
tourist enemy. While there's no explicit clause granting Australia veto rights over security deals between PNG and other countries, government sources said the NRL agreement was, in inverted commas, contingent on PNG continuing to support the principle that security and policing arrangements are handled by Pacific nations, including Australia. The sources, who were not authorised to speak publicly, said the agreement allows the Australian government to withdraw financial support for PNG's NRL team without supplying a reason until 2035. But Brian,
without supplying a reason, so you can just pull the cash.
Yeah, but Brian, if the PNG side, if we make them fall in love with this, and then we break their heart, that will not end well for us.
See ya.
So for me, the clause is moot and irrelevant, is what I would say, Brian. Do you agree with that? Think about a relationship. You've got somebody, hell hath no fury, Brian.
Yeah.
Like a scorned ex. If we don't make this work, this will badly end for us. So we'll make it work.
Have we got any comment from Xi Jinping? Has anyone from China said, right, imagine we had just have one game of rugby league, then one game of table tennis. Kummels v China.
Hybrid game.
Oh, China.
Let us know what you think on the text line right now. Are you for this? Are you against it?
I'm for it. I'm jumping in.
I'm for anything Peter V'landys. I just love how he just goes about it. You can be different in the world, or you can copycat and be like everyone else. Attack, folks. Here's what he also said about the Western Australian bid, which we've forgotten about that one.
They're not getting $600 million for them.
The Western Australian situation is still progressing. We're having some very positive discussions with the West Australian government, and we're hopeful in the next 2 to 3 weeks we could announce a further side. But at the moment, we're just waiting on the response from the West Australian government.
G-U-N, gun. Absolute gun. Peter V'landys, you got a poll up, tourist?
Yeah, we put this on social media. Are you yay or nay for the PNG side coming in? And they're not on your side, boys. 28% said yes, they are keen. 72% no, they are not keen on the PNG bid.
I think if you put up a poll and said how much has V'landys got wrong, I think it'll be not much. The Trade Hour, relax with Blue Star Air Conditioning, because the perfect home starts with comfort. Bluestarac.com.au. It's the run home. Bears, Head and Joel.